Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello, grade 4. Welcome to the art class. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you today, but inshallah, I will see you after the winter break. Please prepare this material before we start. I'm going to give you 2 minutes and it's going to be enough. Before we start, we're going to need pencil, drawing paper, and any of these types of colors. Paint, watercolor, soft pastel, crayon. And it goes without mentioning that if you're using paint or watercolor, you're going to need brushes and water, also some tissue and mixing plate. Today's topic is part 3 of still life. We defined still life as a work of art that depicts still life objects, fruit, books, candle, table, etc., etc. And they are organized or arranged on the table or even on the floor in a certain way. Of course, they don't see any still life painting where the object is scattered all over the place. They are usually arranged in a nice way for the artist to paint them or draw them, or even take a photo of them. This was last week's homework, where we used our pencils to draw lines and also to throw shapes by rubbing the pencil and shading it. Before we started, we went through the elements of art like line, shape, space, texture, value, color. We also decided where the light is projected on these elements, and according to that, we distributed shades and lights. Here is another example with only pencil, the shade, and the light. Usually you can see 2 objects or the 3 of them or multiple objects. They are overlapping each other. One in the background, one in the middle ground, and also one in the foreground, closer to us. Today, we will not only use a pencil, but we're going to use color to create the still life we always dreamed of creating. Let's go over the elements of art again. We're going to pay attention to the line, shape, space, color, value of color, and texture. Now, in the previous class, we only used pencil, and we rub strongly or we press hard on the pencil to create shade. We press lightly on the pencil to create some highlight. However, if we're using color this time, paint, you have to mix your colors with white and black to create different value of color. That's if you're using paint. But if you're using watercolor, you're going to use less water, more color for high value of color. However, if you use more water than color, you're going to create lighter or highlight color. If you're using pencil colors, you're going to do the same technique you did with the pencil. Same thing with the crayon and the soft pastel. If you're wondering what's a soft pastel mean, it is a color that is similar to crayon. However, you can actually rub it with your fingers just like you do with a pencil. They are very good for still life drawings. Let's look at a few examples before we start drawing and painting. The first example, I showed it to you last week. These are oil colors. As you can see, the ball is colored a white, so the shade is going to be gray. Look at the yellow bear. The highlight is light yellow, but the shade is kind of brownish, yellowish, with a little bit of black to create a darker value of the color. Another example, as you can see here, it looks like the light. Can you tell where the light is projecting from? Yes, it is projecting from the from the left side. As you can see, the highlight is on the left side of every object on the table, and the shadow is falling on the right side. Last example, can you tell me where is the light projected on these two objects? Yes, in front, because you can see it's cast a shadow from the back. This is our sample today. I will be using digital material. I would prefer if you girls use traditional material. And I put the list at the beginning of the class. I hope you catch it and you're ready. We'll start a new page. Remember to use your pencil lightly, as we don't want to press hard. Just in case we made a mistake, you can easily erase it and your art will be clean. This is going to be our reference. At the beginning, we have to decide where the table is. We will draw a line. By the way, you're going to use your paper landscape style, not portrait style, landscape style. Draw a line in the middle of the paper, just like that. It does not have to be very straight and strictly straight. Feel free and comfortable. When you're done drawing your line, let's decide where to put the objects. The first object is going to be right here, and the second one, or maybe let's bring it closer. One is going to be here. The third one is going to be next to it. And the last one, maybe we should bring it closer. You don't have to stick to this scheme when you're drawing. See where these objects fit in the picture. Just, first of all, you have to decide what do you want to draw. You want to draw 3 objects, 4 objects. It cannot be 2 objects because it's too easy. I would love to challenge you grade 4. So try 3 and more. Let's start by drawing this vase. So the vase, I decided it's the closest, or maybe it is almost the closest one to me. So first of all, I'm going to erase these lines. You don't have to stick to them, by the way, but if you needed them, just put them there. I don't need them, so I'm just going to go ahead and erase them. So we said that the vase is almost the closest. I'm going to draw now the edge of the vase at the bottom. It's going to be a curvy line. I'm going to start now drawing the thicker part of this vase, curvy line. I'm going to change things as I go along. I just want to see how this object is going to look like on my table, and then I will decide to keep it or not. Okay, the opening is going to be kind of straight line, and they are narrow from the bottom, and then they get wider at the top. Let's draw the lid of this vase. It's going to be curvy line and another curvy line going upward, just to show that there is depth in this vase. Now let's look at it. What can we change? Since I'm using a digital device, I feel like I can push it here, and I can lift it up right here. And now, can you tell me what's the next step I should do to make this vase look like it's standing on the table and not going through it? You're right. We have to erase this line, the table line. Now, let's draw the second object. This second object is going to be rectangular shape, but the trick is that I want it to be overlapping, or maybe the vase should overlap it. I want the vase to be bigger than that, so I can do it because I'm using digital easily. If you feel like you made a few mistakes, you can go ahead and erase and change the size of the vase, make it bigger, smaller. I felt mine was too small. Okay, let's go ahead and draw the second object, and it's going to be behind the vase. I'm going to start doing the bottom. Like I said, it's a very easy shape, rectangle. And here we're thinking about the line and the shape, and also the space. It's behind the vase. Just like I did with the top of the vase, I'm going to create depth in this object. Now, this could be a pencil holder. It could be a glass of water. Could be, can you think what's the reason or what's the purpose of this object? Okay, now I'm going to do the very important step, which is erasing the line and making it look like it's behind the vase. We're going to erase the table line to make it like it's sitting on the table. And I'm not going to erase the vase line, so be careful here. Just the table. Some of you might be asking, why do we keep the vase? Because we want it to be, the vase is overlapping, not the glass. Here we go. Do you see it now? I'm going to give you 2 minutes to establish this object, and then we're going to move on to the third one. Okay, so the third object is going to be the pink water jug, and it's also very simple. It's up to you where you want it to be. If you want it to be in the middle ground or the background next to exactly on the same line as or the same level as the glass, or it could be closer, you go ahead and decide that on your own. But you have to take a space to draw it because the handle is going to be, the glass is going to be overlapping the handle. Just pay attention where you should keep the line and where you should delete the line or erase the line. So take some space and draw a straight line. I want it to be the same level as the glass because I want the handle to be overlapping the glass. So you're going to start by creating a straight line. Also, the ending is going to be slightly straighter than the vase, only because this is the shape of the water jug. Much better. Okay, now I'm going to climb up and draw a straight line. However, this straight line is going to be slightly diagonal inside, going inside the jug of water like this. Reason why we're doing that is because the opening of the jug of water, as you can see, it's different than the vase and the glass. So let's continue. Now we're going to create, I'm going to zoom in to create an angle. So it's easier for the water to slide, just like that. And then we're going to close this angle by doing curved line like that. And then create a depth by adding another line, just like that. If you need to change it, try to fix the shape, make it wider than it is. I feel like it's kind of skinnier from the top, but I'm happier all in all. Now, let's create a handle. It's very easy. That's it. Now, some of you might be scared from drawing it over the glass. So you stop here and then you carry on when you skip the glass. I say, go ahead and go through the glass and then erase what you need to erase. Now, drawing the handle, I need you to think about an ear shape. Now let's add depth, another parallel line, like this. Now, what we need is the glass to overlap the handle. So we're gonna erase the handle line from the glass like this. I feel like we're gonna need to fix these lines. See, it's okay to make mistakes. Even I make mistakes. We forgot to erase the table line. Now it's up to you what third object you want. To me right now, maybe I should add a fruit. I feel like I need to add a fruit. It's much easier. Or you can add this ball, which is very easy. I think it looks like similar to the one we drew 2 weeks ago. However, I want an apple, and it's going to be overlapping the water jug. First, I draw a circle, not a perfect circle, just a simple circle. And then I will erase everything inside to make it look like my apple is established and it's in front. It's the object in the foreground. Now, let's give this apple more, or circle, more apple shape. Like we said, the apple is a heart shape and it's not a rounded shape, something that looks like this. It is white from the top and it gets narrow from the bottom. Let's try that. A heart shape. Let me zoom in. You don't have to stick to your lines, go down, think about a heart shape, but not actually a sharp heart shape. There we go. Don't forget to add the line that the stem is coming out of. Before we draw the stem, to make things easier, let's erase the guideline, the apple guideline, which is the rounded shape. Here we go. We don't need the reference anymore. I need you to focus here. Before start coloring, you have to decide in order to draw or to understand where to place your lighter value, your darker value, your medium value. You have to decide where the light source is coming from. If it's hitting the object this way, make sure these shapes look highlighted and shaded. Now, if the light source is coming this way, that means the vase is causing some shadow on this glass right here and projecting shadow here on the right side, or sorry, left side. Now, since the glass is overlapping the handle is going to be darker from here and lighter. It's also darker here because the jug itself casting a shadow. Also this area, don't forget to add the shadow on all these objects. Now, since we're painting, I'm going to play a video that I have on my YouTube channel. I'm also going to publish it on a homework, in the homework, of course. Just want to show you how to actually color and how to spread your colors. So starting to draw the lines, the simple lines, placing all your objects. Hopefully you find this video helpful. You can watch it anytime you want. You can change also the objects. Take spaces between of them. Think about line, shape, space. And then when you're done with these three, start with the color, the value, the texture. Here I added an orange instead of an apple. Yalla, let's start coloring. We decided where the light source is coming from. And now I'm gonna add all the shades, or sorry, all the values of the color green, because I decided to color the vase green. To create depth, don't forget to paint inside of the vase. And now spread or distribute all the value of the blue color. And notice how the orange, distributing the value of color on it, it's kind of a sphere shape, so it's rounded, unlike the vase, the glass, the handle, and everything, every object, because the other objects have kind of cylindrical shape, but they are straight and standing. However, the orange is a sphere, so when you make sure that when you're distributing your value, make sure it is rounded. I'm going to repeat again. Watch how the colors are added in the orange and how rounded they should be. Don't forget to add your shadows and color everything in this drawing, everything. There. This is the lesson for today. I hope you enjoy it. I can't wait to see your creation grade 4, and I will be publishing your homework on Thursday. I'll see you inshallah. I love you all and goodbye.